Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a very, very exciting walkthrough. This has been a much anticipated arrival for me. I've been very excited to receive this deck. The Cosmic Slumber Tarot is something that I have been looking at for a long time, and when Liminal 11 offered to send this to me, I was over the moon. So we are going to be diving into it. They actually surprised me. I thought I was going to get a standard edition, but they sent me the limited edition, which I am just beside myself about. So I cannot wait to dive into this. It came in a really cool box, but it was going to be hard to open it on camera, but it was very well packaged. So if you are considering the limited edition, this tin will not have a single ding on it in shipping because it is packaged in this like cardboard box that has like that kind of hugs it. I don't know how else to describe it. You may be able to find other videos where people have taken it out of its box on camera, but oh my gosh. So I've already taken the plastic off. Oops, I'm bumping my camera because I'm excited. I've already taken the plastic off because I didn't want to fight with it on camera. But let's dive in. I just really want to get just a little bit of incense going. Doesn't want to just like light. There we go. All right, so let's dive into it. So this is such a beautiful tin. I'm like trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Like, am I going to like keep the deck in the tin? Probably not. Am I going to like use this tin for something special? Probably, because who doesn't love a good tin? Oh, okay, sorry. I'm gushing over the tin, which is silly, but it is really nice. So, oh look, okay, so I hereby certify that this copy of the Cosmic Slumber Tarot Special Edition, limited to 1,111 copies, this is signed by Tilly Walden, the artist of the deck, numbered 84 of 1,111. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Okay, where do I want to put everything? I don't even know. Okay, let's set that over here for now. So it comes with a really beautiful tarot cloth, which I have flame here, so I'm going to open this very carefully. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see. So this feels like probably some kind of polyester blend. It's not that like satin feeling. It actually feels like it's got a little bit of weight to it, which is really nice. I don't know how it will iron. I will definitely give it a try. And I may even have, because you guys know me, I may have Peggy back this for me onto a cotton so that I have a reversible side to it. But it has been actually hemmed, like it's got a hem sewn into it, which is really nice. So it won't have edges that are raw. And so we have looks like a swords here. And then in this quadrant, we have cups. And then I'm guessing we're going to have all the suits. So then in this one, yes, in this side we have wands. And we have pentacles. And then it's just a nice open sort of circular design. Oh, I love that. Okay, I don't want to get it too close to my flame, so I'm going to just set that over here. But it's actually, my dog is like mad because she just can't come in right now. But it's actually really, like you can tell you can't see through it. So it feels a lot sturdier than a lot of the cloths I've gotten in sets before. So that's really nice. I'm going to set that aside. Yeah, it's like it feels like a smooth, yeah, it feels like a polyester blend of some, maybe like a polyester cotton or just a polyester. We will see, we will see. Oh, and there's a bag. I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that this one came with a bag. That is embroidered. It's like a machine embroidered velvet, and it's got some like thickness to it. So it looks like it is lined in probably like a polyester, maybe. It actually may not, I can't tell if it's a lining or if it's the other side of this velvet material. I'm sorry, I'm picking it apart, you guys, because I have a Peggy. I hope you understand. But this has actually got a Liminal 11 tag in it, so that's really cool. It's got a double pull drawstring. Okay, fun. I'll probably actually use this bag, and y'all know I tend to not, but this is nice. I like it. All right, cool. Oh yeah, so the limited edition has this really beautiful triptych. So this is like a, kind of like a stained glass window. In fact, here, oh, let's see if I can do this without the glare. I'm going to bring the candle flame right behind so you can see how it glows with the light. Pretty. Pretty. So here we have the Sun card. I'm guessing this is the Sun. This may be the Lovers. I'm not sure. It looks to me like it's probably going to be the Sun. And then we have the Empress card, and it looks like this is going to be the Devil. Just guessing, but we will see. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, I wonder if I can set it up. Let's put it right there. Why not? That's fun. And then what's this? Is this the guidebook? Oh, oh, okay. So this is probably not what this is supposed to be, but like literally the first place my brain went was, oh, it's a coloring book. Can you tell I love coloring? It looks like what we have here are the, I'm guessing the line drawings that Tilly did, and then right next to how the card ended up looking in the end. Because, yeah, these are different. So these look like maybe they were the original sketches. Does it say somewhere in here? Cosmic Slumber Tarot. Oh, here we go. Creating a tarot deck is surprisingly challenging. Like all meaningful relationships, where you start is not necessarily where you arrive. It's much more fluid than that. Symbols that felt like flourishes became central, moving the focus, and sometimes there was an epiphany that caused the entire picture to shift. It's almost like the deck has a mind of its own, and a changeable one at that. What follows are the original sketches I made when designing the Cosmic Slumber Tarot Major Arcana, shown against the final colored pieces. So it's like an evolution of the imagery. Oh, I love that. Okay, yeah, that's going to be fun to look through. I got really quiet there because I was just like examining the differences. Okay, this one is colored. That's funny. I didn't do it, I swear. Oh, I like the newer High Priestess better than the older one. Okay, I'm not gonna get into all that because we will be here forever. And we have the deck, and so it's held snugly by this, like, it feels like a flocked, like it feels like velvety, so it's like a flocked plastic, but it is a plastic tray, and this is removable. You can tell because it's like you can move it in the tin. So if I want to repurpose this tin, that will be really easy to do. I can just pop this little holder out and repurpose it. So let's pop the lid on that. Oh, so pretty. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the side. I'm probably going to have to move this too because I feel like it's in the way. I'm going to put it where I can see it. You guys just won't be able to see it. All right, let's take a look at the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. Oh, this box is nice. This feels very similar to the Modern Witch Tarot. Of course, also by Liminal 11. So what does it say on the back of the box? If the universe were to sleep, where would her dreams lead? Hand-painted and bursting with color, the Cosmic Slumber Tarot evokes imagery from subconscious and subliminal states. It's a tarot deck energized by a soulful warmth from award-winning comics prodigy Tilly Walden. Complete 78-card tarot deck with introductory booklet. This image, when this deck first showed up, I think I saw it first on, Amazon in pre-order status. And this image here, like, just captivated me the moment I saw it. I was like, there's something about this that it just grabbed my eye from the very beginning. I'm really curious to find out if that's a Sun card. I also feel like it could be the Lovers. We'll see. And the Devil again. And this has got to be the Hermit, right? I'm sure that's the Hermit. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's get into this. Oh, it's a magnet. Oh, this is so smart. So it's one of those decks where it's a slide out. So I thought the whole thing would just slide out. But this way you can pull the deck out and you don't have to worry about the drawer sliding out on you. And I think this was mentioned. Somebody mentioned this in the comment section of my Modern Witch Tarot review. Oh, I love the interior box. Okay, first of all, it's all decorated in there. And then this feels like, sorry, it's just the soft lavender color. It's coming, I think it's coming through pretty true to color on camera. That's really pretty. Oh, there's like a cardboard. Let's pull out the cards and the little guidebook. Oh, I see. Okay, so this feels stuck in there. So there's like a little cardboard like filler. So I wish, because the box is so beautiful, I wish the cardboard filler was like printed to match this inside, or the inside of the box was designed a little differently. I will say it's nice that the guidebook isn't rattling around in there. So, but I would want to take that out, and it feels it's glued in there. So I don't trust that I could pull that out. But again, I like that it holds the guidebook so well. Like it slides in there perfectly. So I will deal with it. It's just a shame because it distracts from all the beautiful like interior papers of the box. But let's get into this. I have to say, this little magnet on the bottom, that is a very satisfying box to play with. I just want to, like, do you ever do this? Just like boop. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, this video is going to be long. I'm not going to apologize for it. Thank you guys for reminding me. I don't need to apologize for my lengthy videos. But I'm just going to have fun with it. So our little guidebook here, we can look at this more in the end. The text is pretty small, but I love that it's got a hardbound that it's a hardbound little guidebook. Oh, we get little thumbnails for the majors, and do we for the minors? Let's see. No thumbnails for the minors, but we do get color art all the way through. So that's really nice. So let's set that aside. We have some silver gilding here, and I don't know if the silver, what the differences are between this limited edition version of the deck and the standard version. So I would assume, and I could be totally incorrect, but I would assume that the standard edition may not be gilded, and that may be one of the differences. The cards themselves may actually be the same though, and it may just be a matter of the tin and the bag and the extra goodies and things like that. Ooh, okay. So these are glossy, but they feel much thinner, like in a nice way. They feel thinner and more flexible than the Modern Witch Tarot felt. We'll see how it shuffles at the end. Oh, did I just flip the whole thing upside down? I sure did. We'll see how it feels at the end, but I'm excited. They also feel like they've got a sheen, and they are glossy, but they don't seem as glossy as the Modern Witch Tarot. And then let's take a look at the backings. So these have a very like warm, and I think the word warm was even used on the back of the box. Soulful warmth is what one of the descriptors. These are a very warm, sunny kind of card backing. Okay, first things I'm noticing, sorry, before we dive into the artwork, I swear we're going to do that in a second. But the first thing I'm noticing is these like hand-drawn borders. I love that. I love that. I really like that feel. Okay, let's dive in, and we're going to go card by card. And I'm just going to give you my first impressions of the symbology, the way the cards are done. Whew. And I'm coming into this not being a predetermined super fan of Tilly Walden. I didn't really know much about her artwork. I have looked her up a bit since this deck came out, but she wasn't really on my radar before that. I think she's done some award-winning graphic novels and comics and things like that, but she wasn't somebody that I was specifically following. So let's dive in. So here we have our Fool coming from a different direction than we typically see. We usually see the Fool coming from the right side of the card in a Rider-Waite-Smith classic deck, right? But she still has her, this person actually looks fairly gender neutral, which is actually kind of neat. So I'm just going to pick pronouns. But this person has has their, what do you call this? Their pack over their side with their stick and their little pouch here, their little satchel. And the dog is biting at her coat. And I really like that because there's two ways that the dog there's multiple ways the dog can be read in a tarot card. But in the Marseille tradition, the dog is actually the one that's kind of hampering or interfering with in a not helpful way. And there's sometimes another animal companion that's trying to help. Another way to look at the dog is as somebody who's trying to warn her, oh, hey, you're going to fall, and he's biting at her coat to keep her back, right? She's just like blithely moving forward, completely unaware of any potential danger. And I think it's interesting that her sights are actually on this. If you follow her line of sight up the horizon line here, well, I don't know what you would say, but you follow her line of sight, and you see this break, right? There's ground here and there's ground here. It's almost like she's so focused on her destination that she's not aware that she's stepping into an empty gap. I really like that. I think that's neat. Here's our Magus. We still have the as above, so below. We have the lemniscate here. Very traditional coloring in this card. I like that we have, now let's take a look at the tools. Yeah, I love this. So the vines above are holding a sword, a wand, a pentacle, and a cup. And then he's still got his sort of magical wand he's holding. And again, that lemniscate almost looks like it's got little thorns on it or something. Let's bring that in a little bit. Yeah, it's got some like little spikies on it. That's really interesting. The sun is at his back. I love when the High Priestess has her eyes veiled. I don't know what it is about that, but oh my gosh. Okay, so the coolest thing about this card, and the place my eyes first go, is this mini version of herself, or this smaller self that is behind a door at the core of her body, right? Like she's holding the book. We have the dark and light pillars. We have the pomegranates behind. We have this like throne that looks like it's almost made of crystal, like quartz crystal, and the water around her, the crescent moon at her foot. Like all the things I need to be there are there. So it's very traditional, and yet here you have this great little thing here where she's opened up this door to this secret self inside. Intuitively, I love that. I think that gives me a lot to work with as far as the High Priestess and what she could mean in a reading. Excited to actually see what the guidebook, I know I'm cheating. I mean, it's my video. I'm not cheating. I can do whatever I want. Let's just see what the High Priestess says in the guidebook, because that's fascinating. The High Priestess is the teacher we need. She is also a guardian of knowledge. There is a silence that hangs in the air as you consider her, for what she represents is somewhat elusive. There is no simple answer when it comes to the High Priestess, because many of her answers are questions. This is because she is the guide to somewhere deeper than anywhere you have been before. To get there, one must consider both mercy and severity, a nod to the pillars, of course, and act intuitively. Both intend to lift you up, though they also both intend to challenge you. The secrets the High Priestess contains may be difficult to accept. There is often hardship in crossing new boundaries, but have faith in her power and respect it, for this is the dark teacher of dreams, and her lessons should be heeded. Ooh, okay, I really like how that's written. Oh my gosh, okay. Let's go to the next card here. The Empress. Oh, okay, so I love that she seems to be like a part of the earth. If you look at her clothing, like it's like her throne and also her. It's like where does the plant or the foliage that she's sitting in and on and with, where does it end and she begins? You really get like this Gaia feel from her. And she's nursing a babe at her breast. We get this interesting, we have this cloud above with rain falling just on her as if she is a part of all of the elements. And in fact, the deeper I look at this card, the more I'm like, is this fire? And then she is made of earth. And then we have air and water in the sea behind her. And this is giving me such like Mama Gaia vibes. I love this. But actually, I also am noticing that she still has the crown of stars. She still has this Venus symbol. Not necessarily a shield, but it's in front of her. Anyways, I'm just, oof. Okay. The Emperor. Okay. I can't think of very many Emperor cards that I distinctly love. But I'm really digging this. I love that his throne is very like stable and secure, which is something I look for. What draws my eye in this card immediately is this little lamb. It looks like a little lamb, and he's shielding it. He's protecting it. So he is being that strong, confident leader, but he's also being a nurturer protector, right? So we get that softer side of what it means to be an authority and to have all of this stuff under your domain. Like, how do you take care of those who are weaker or more dependent on you? I think that's really beautiful. I love that we have this like ram. I know it's Aries, but I just forget what a ram's head looks like. That's definitely a ram, right? Somebody's going to be like, Lisa, come on. But he's wearing a ram's skull, and you can tell it is being worn as a headpiece. And yeah, I'm digging this. I love that his feet are planted. We still see the chainmail in his outfit. He's armored. He's ready for battle. He's holding his staff of power. But I love all the growth behind him as well. But the colors in this card are very evocative. And this deck so far does have that very sort of red, orangey, warm feel. So that really ties in beautifully with the backs. At least so far. We'll see. But again, I love all the growth at his feet and the plants. Again, it speaks to that sort of connection to nature. Love that. The Hierophant. Oh, wow. Oh, this is so neat the way that this is depicted. So looking into the very center of this image, I get this feeling like this is a galaxy. This is tripping me out for a second. So we have like what look to be like almost like little stars, or you could even see them as bubbles going on here in the background. Planets or the universe. I'm just feeling like this universe energy. It's interesting because here we have the ground. We have some trees and some mountains and some sky with some clouds. And then we have our two supplicants, of course. But then when we go up here, there's like almost like sky above sky. And then you go up further and you get this feeling of like heavens. And what's really interesting is that this person, this figure, their body is made up of these realms. And you get the feeling of like, to me anyways, I get the feeling of like a lower, a middle, and an upper realm. And it's like, what is this? Is this the space of like the space between spaces, the space between realms? I'm just having like a whole feeling about all of this. But the Hierophant feels like universal energy spirit. And right at the solar plexus point is one of these like bubbles or planets or whatever it is this is supposed to mean. I am digging that. We also interestingly have the 4 fixed signs in the corners of the card, which is really cool. Yeah, this feels like somebody who is connected to all the realms, right? The earthly realm, the spirit realm, and the heavenly realm. I don't know, that's just giving me a lot to go off of. It is the Lovers. Okay, so I was wondering if in the triptych and on the outside of the box, oh, sorry for the glare. Oh boy. There we go. I was wondering if that was the Lovers, or if it was something else. So it's interesting. The reason I was wondering at first was because the first thing I noticed, oh, I'm now seeing it. Okay, hold on. I'm like really like enjoying sinking into these cards. So we have over here, we have like the tree of of knowledge here with the apples. We have two figures sort of back to back and nude there. And then when you go over here, you have a different kind of plant or bush. And the couples, instead of facing away from each other, they're facing toward one another. This almost looks like it could be tulips growing. Oh my God, sorry about the glare. There we go. It almost looks like here there could be tulips growing. And then we have a figure facing this way, kind of containing that energy. We have an angel. I want to read what the book has to say about this card. I don't know if it will speak to the imagery, but it's just, there's a lot going on. The Lover's card is here to tell you that there is a choice in front of you, or perhaps within you. Do not be fooled in thinking that a choice is simply a road that diverges into two paths. So here we have maybe one path and another path. Picture a winding staircase that goes on farther than you can imagine, branching, dividing, rejoining with each ethical dilemma. Dwelling within the Lovers, a guide can be found. It's the part of you that has both grown up and stayed young. Let that guide sit with you in these decisions. Do not make choices as your fearful self or your angry self. Look upon your moral dilemmas as the person you want to be, for that is how you will become them. Oh, okay. So I am like living for the way this is written. Holy moly. So there's a focus here more on the idea of choice. And we almost see that this central figure here is making the choice. And it feels kind of maybe torn between apart or together, almost that kind of an energy. And then you have this guide, this angeled figure, but the angeled figure is also a part of them. Oh, that's okay. Sorry. I'm just like kind of geeking out on the imagery here. We have the Chariot. This feels potent and confident. The charioteer is holding reins, which is not always my favorite, but I have to say I do love that the black and the white figures in the front that are pulling the chariot are mobile, like they're lions that are moving, as opposed to sphinxes that are still. And I understand there's a reason for that symbology, but still, I do enjoy this. It's interesting to me. It almost looks like this thing in the back, this could be some kind of a tent. I'm just going to pull this up. So what's happening back there? It's almost like there's an emerging happening, a forward movement, but also following maybe this stream that's starting to widen. There's just so many different things you could tune into here intuitively. It's just exciting. Oh, I love this. I love strength, and she's got the hand. And by the way, I'm also really liking that a lot of these figures feel very gender ambiguous to me. Like they feel like they could be male, female, or non-binary, which is really kind of cool. I don't know if it'll always feel like that, but these figures do feel fairly non-binary, which is nice. Anyways, so this figure, I'm just going to, again, I'm picking pronouns. This figure has her hand in the lion's mouth and is kind of holding the mane on the other side. And I also noticed that the lion has a paw, I almost said a hand, a paw resting on her leg here. And there's this very deep connecting moment. It looks like, you know, she's very focused on the lion. And the lion, you can tell, is almost struggling with itself. It's just, oh, okay. Yep, the Hermit card. This is that image that first drew me in. I love that we have a little cat here. And I love that we can see Saturn. This is just really cool to me. You can also see that there's been a long road traveled to get to this point. Love that. The Wheel of Fortune. This is really interesting to me. So the wheel is semi-transparent. You can kind of vaguely see the outline of the Sphinx behind. There's sort of a sleepy moon here. And again, we have the 4 fixed signs showing up. Oh, interesting. So the moon, if you look closer, I'm just going to call it a moon. I don't know if it's intended to be a moon. But up top, the moon has this peaceful, relaxed smile. But if you flip it upside down, the moon at the bottom is a little bit less comfortable, a little bit less happy. So that's really cool. It definitely speaks to the ups and downs of the wheel. I really like that. And actually, wheels often miss the mark for me as far as like giving me something to chew on intuitively. And those moons are a great little nod to the meaning there for me. Justice. So this is really cool. You see this small figure here. It looks like they're almost in another realm, and they're visiting this realm to be judged, to have justice served, right? So almost like being at a court like where this is an actual judge and you're in a court system. But obviously something a little bit more spiritual, a little bit more mystical because this figure is so large. We still have the sword and the scales, and I like that justice here is the eyes are shrouded. That really works well for me. But again, it's almost like that Hierophant card. This almost feels like we're seeing a figure that has more of a cosmic role to play. And justice, of course, is all about consequence, whether that's like literally legal consequences or something else. So this really works. I love that the Hanged One looks like they're in their pajamas. That is fantastic. I love the pool underneath and the reflection. It just is more of a nod to me of things like Odin's well and Odin hanging from the tree. But what's really cool to me is that this figure is a part of the tree. It's almost like they've become a part of the tree, or they already are a part of the tree. You still get that sense of enlightenment happening with this pool of water and the reflection. But there's also an intuitive nod here, I feel like, to the concept of using that time out to reflect, to consider things from different angles. That pools are just such wonderful symbols of reflection and consideration, right? So I love that. Death. Ooh. So Death is actually charging through the water or the sea here with scythe in hand. We still have the dawn breaking in the back, the sun rising. Potent. Temperance. Oh, I like this. We have the lion, we have the lion and the eagle here. And Temperance is managing these jugs, and really cool, Temperance has the water jug, the bottom water jug is sitting on Temperance's foot. And this is interesting because typically we of course see Temperance with one foot on land and one foot on water. So you kind of get a bit of nod because the one foot is here on the path on land and the other foot is supporting the bottom water jug. So that's really interesting. But I like, again, the idea that you get these like this equilibrium sense here of pausing maybe to rebalance, to reconsider. The Devil. And here's where I always think we have such an opportunity to see. I'm just going to grab the Lover's card. You always want to see, well, I always want to see the mirroring happening between the Devil and the Lover's card. And here we have our Lover's card. And here we have our Devil card. And you can see how the figures are facing. Oh my gosh, cards are sliding. Stop it. You can see how the figures are facing away from one another. This is super interesting to me. So they definitely feel like they're part of a set. Oh, sorry for the glare. You definitely feel like they're part of a set, right? Which is what I want to see. But let's dive into the actual Devil card just to see what kind of I notice here. So you have figures here that are definitely chained to the Devil. Again, I feel like we have a very gender neutral sort of figure here. There's nail polish on the nails, and there's the sense of coins, of almost like greed coming through, and there's little horns coming out of this figure here. But the Devil, again, is within, right? That's really cool. The Tower. Look at all the hands on that tower knocking it over. Oh my goodness. That's a potent one. I like it. The Star. I love when this card feels calming and peaceful to look at. What I'm liking about this deck so far is it feels very traditional, but the art is definitely unique and creative. Yeah, I'm loving this. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just really love a soothing star card. The Moon. We have the dog and the wolf. The Moon is crying here, and we have these two figures in the background. Often I look for something in the Moon card that illustrates the concept of illusion. I almost get the feeling that this is the same figure, like almost like different sides of herself. Maybe her own domestic and her own wild. I wonder why the Moon is crying. Okay, I'm back to the guidebook. Sorry, guys. No, I'm not sorry. I am not sorry. This is my video. I can do what I want. All right, let me just see. The moon reigns in the sky, brimming with tears and mystery, but her tears are not like our own. They roll down her rocky surface and fall to earth, each containing its own dream. Right now you feel trapped in the middle of the night. The dark is so endless that all sense of the approaching morning is lost. Every action takes you deeper within yourself. Myths, wild oscillations of the imagination, fears, only intuition can guide when the light is so deceptive. The water around you is overflowing, and your subconscious and conscious minds feel it all. Look closely at the reflection, this shadow of self. In its shimmer, you will see the first hint of dawn. Oh, God, so beautifully written. The sky is a little bit different here, just hinting at the dawn. Oh, the sun. I love how the sun is being embraced and you have the children playing. That really works for me for the sun card. Judgment. Okay, so I super dig that we have the call is being offered, but there's also a sense of almost time is running out. Like when you hear the call that Judgment offers, this call to evolve, to step in to your next level of being, to sort of level up in a way. Those opportunities don't necessarily stay permanently, right? And the fact that there's like this water falling from the horn and the water seems to be filling up around the figures, it does speak to me anyways of that element of like, you don't have forever to do this, right? You have to make a decision. But here we have the figures who are actually ascending or who are going through this process of stepping up to that higher plane. And you get the feeling like these figures are helping the younger figure, like the child almost, to come up. So they're working together, they're supporting one another here to take that next step. So it's a very kind of community-oriented almost kind of card, and I really like that. The universe. I dig it. We have the circle around her. I love that we have the plants all intertwined. We still have the 4 fixed signs showing up. Yeah, that works for me. Okay, so we're into the wand suit and we have the Ace of Torches. This is really freaking cool because first of all, you have a hand holding a torch and the torch is a light, which is awesome. But if you look closely, oh my gosh, this deck has like so many little surprises. There's this figure. There's like a humanist figure or human-like figure clinging on to the wand here. Almost like it's like a big idea, like it's something big, hard to hold on to, right? Ugh. The 2 of Torches. This is perfect because to me, the 2 of Wands or the 2 of, in this case, the 2 of Torches is a card about considering possibilities. And here you have a very clear consideration of which path am I going to take? Like what route makes the most sense for me, right? Love that. And the 3 of Torches is where everything starts to take shape. We know our direction. We're starting to take those first steps forward. And this really works. The 4, when we recognize the milestone. Interesting that this figure here seems to be resting, almost like something we'd expect of the 4 of Swords. I also find it interesting that these wands are burning, or they've almost like they've just been extinguished or are just smoldering, almost like incense would smolder. So there's this idea of like, as we know in the 4s, we have that greater sense of stability. Here we have a feeling like we don't need to burn so hot and fast now. We can kind of, there's a coasting energy to this, which works for the 4 of Wands. Like that. In the 5 of Wands, everybody's trying to manage and climb up this hill. So is this a race to the top? Interesting. Here the flames are burning quite a lot. So I feel like you're able to really get a lot intuitively from the way the flames are burning. Yeah. So that'll be a fun thing to play with from an intuitive standpoint. I like that. Here in the 6, lots of flame, lots of smoke. We have this like person at the top of the rock pile here. You can tell sort of above everybody, kind of maybe getting some accolades. This reminds me almost of like accepting a trophy or something, which works for the victory in the 6 of Wands. In the 7, there's a sense of chaos. Like this figure is definitely up at the top, but you get a feeling almost like there's torches being thrown at them, and they're just like, oh, interesting. They're actually almost like riding on, they're balanced on riding on one of these torches as all these other torches are flying everywhere. So there's a trying to kind of hold on to their position, but it's not necessarily a secure position, which is really interesting. The 8 of Wands, everything's moving in the same direction, almost like little rockets, and this person is along with them. And the 9 of Wands, the sentry sort of energy. These ones aren't burning, just the one that this figure has is burning. And the 10 of Wands. Ooh, managing, very smart, the load. This is really cool because a lot of times what we see is struggling, trying to hold the bundle all together. This person's got one bundle in front, one bundle back, but they're still working themselves harder than they have to because there's this flatter, easier path here, and they're walking on this uneven terrain back here. So they are thinking they've got it all handled, but they could still make life easier for themselves, right? I love that. Let's see how our courts are. So we have, let's see, what is the court system? We have princess, prince, queen, and king. So don't think it's trying to be Thoth here. I think it's just princess, prince, queen, king as a royal family instead of page, knight, queen, king. So we have the Princess of Wands. Love it. Got that sense of adventure. I love the comets flying in the background. The Knight of Wands. Looks like he's riding a giant cat. That's awesome. Love that. The Queen of Wands. Okay, her cat, she has a cat like at her feet that's much bigger than the cat that's actually in her lap. Sorry, I'm going to butt my camera. I have to readjust my legs there. I love that her wand has lots of like floral type growth on it almost. Or it could be that it's on fire, but it's like sparking in all these different places. Love that. And then we have the King of Wands, still with these cat companions. Lots of comets still. So very similar like environment across the court. And very elemental, very fiery. Yeah, very dynamic. Interesting. So this page, sorry, the princess, sorry, let me get the glare away. The princess, interesting to look at how this flame is going. So this person is sort of like almost dancing on the flame. The knight is like charging through like a path between the flame and the smoke. The queen is sitting with the flame behind her, and the king is walking confidently across the flame. So you have something to read there intuitively about how they're interacting with their element. Love that. I don't know if all of this is intentional. This is just like what I'm picking up from the cards. So we have our Ace of Cups here. And again, just like in the Ace of Wands, we have this big cup, and then we have this little figure swimming in the water, or like kind of floating around in the water. So again, that idea of the bigness of what this is being, you know, in the vastness of the suit of the element. Oh, I love this Two of Cups. They're both in the water. They both got water pouring over them. They're very connected. Oh, I love that. The Three of Cups. I love that each one has a different color hair. I always look for that to some degree in my Three of Cups. I look for some sort of difference between all three figures because I like reading these cards often as the way others complete us, or I guess bring more to the table to fill in gaps where we may not know something, somebody else can bring that in. There's like an element of friendship where, you know, you balance each other out in a way, and I love seeing that. Here they're capturing rain from the cloud to celebrate with. The Four of Cups. I love that this person seems to be like lying on the beach. These look like little shells and things all around them. And they're clutching the one cup. This feels very much like comfort zone. Like, I'm just going to clutch the one cup, and they're not noticing the other three in this particular case. Love that. Speaks to to me, the comfort zone energy of the Four of Cups. Love that. The Five of Cups. Interesting that nothing is spilled here, but you get a similar feeling. It's almost like this figure is looking into this cup going, this one's empty. And there's all these here. The seas are really raging here. The clouds are kind of blocking the sun from this figure's perspective, but you know that the clouds are moving and the seas will calm. The Six of Cups. Fantasy and daydream here is what I'm getting, actually. It's interesting because, oh, is that something on my card? Oh, no, that's just me. Okay. We don't get the sense here, I mean, of play, nostalgia. Do I get it? I'm curious what the guidebook says on the Six. Let's see. Six of Cups. Reflection and building. Looking back upon the happiness you have felt and honor this past by living the present to the fullest. Learn from what you have experienced. So this person's almost like consulting different memories as a part of learning. Oh, I love that. The Seven of Cups. This person's dove underwater, it looks like, to try to choose which cup will they collect, right? Which one will grab their attention. I'm really curious to dive through the guidebook, though, because I love how it's written. The Eight of Cups. This person's leaving the watery realm entirely, leaving those cups behind. The Nine of Cups. I love this. I actually commented on Liminal 11's Instagram when I saw this card because it was the first time I've seen the Nine of Cups. And this to me is so perfect. This person's very comfortable. They're in this like flowing gown. They're in the water. They're in their happy, comfortable place. And this to me is so great because the Nine of Cups to me is my happy place card. My feeling really emotionally fulfilled. And oh, this one just does it for me. I love it though in the Nine of Cups when we have a figure in water. Another deck that does something similar but very different look is in the Starseeker Tarot, where the figure is actually in like a pool of water at the base of a willow tree. Similar thing, just being in water, being in a bath. I mean, all these things are just comfort zone things for me, so I love that. Oh, I love that in the Ten of Cups, they're in a boat. And there's the sun peeking through the clouds. Oh, okay. I can't wait to see the court cards for the cups. So we have our Princess of Cups, and she is sitting on a swan who she is giving some water to. Her crown is beside her. Oh, she's not sitting on the swan. She's on like a little island in the sea, and the swan is coming up to her, and she's petting the swan. So you get this like sensitive, oh, I just love that. Our queen is standing with the waves lapping around her ankles and her feet, holding her cup up. Excuse me, that's the prince. Wait. Hold on, I thought that was the queen for a second. So our princess is on the island. Our prince is kind of, okay, so with the prince in mind, I'm going to change my assessment here. I feel like he's striding into the water. These big fish are at his feet. He's got his eye on his cup, which we look for in the Knight of Cups, or I look for in the Knight of Cups, because that card is very much about following one's quest and like really keeping your eye on what it is that you're going after. So that's where the focus is. The queen, I love this, is like sitting on her little island throne. Half her body's in the sea. Well, her legs are in the sea anyways. And it's like she's pouring her emotions all over herself. That is so just like relaxed and comfortable in the realm of emotion. And then our king, I love this body posture of the king. He's straight up just like hanging out, riding on the backs of the fishes. I love that. I love that he's really chill. He's relaxed. He's like kind of almost napping. Very confident in this realm. Here's our Ace of Swords. So just like the other aces, we have the hand holding the sword and then our little figure on the hilt of the sword. Our Two of Swords. That impasse and decision making here. Oh. Ooh, interesting. So the Three of Swords, taking a step away from the really common imagery we see of a heart being stabbed. And we have a person here who's lying on their side, and this one of these swords has stabbed them, but two still remain upright. It's almost like they're letting themselves be defeated by this moment or by this experience rather than turning around and taking the two swords that remain and learning from it. I don't know. Going off the cuff here, but I love the rest and the calm and the break in the Four of Swords. I also like that we're clearly in the realm of cloud here. My candle is like, I'm going to zoom out so you can see. It's going completely bananas over there. Maybe it doesn't show up well on camera, but that flame is like, it's having a heyday. Anyways, back to the cards. The Five of Swords, two swords here, three swords there. They actually feel like they're kind of duking it out. This one may have the advantage, but it's less of an obvious defeat than what we typically see in a Rider-Waite-Smith card. The Six of Swords. Oh, this is interesting. So almost like using the swords as stairs and as handholds to make their way past and out of the difficulties. So they're moving away from the dark clouds and into the light. The Seven Swords. He's trying so hard to hold on to or get away with all the swords. There's three being left behind. The Eight Swords. This is a trip. She's literally holding the two swords and could quite easily cut her bonds. No problem. Well, she's not even tied up because she can move so freely. Yeah, that really works for the Eight of Swords. These cards were stuck a little bit. The Nine of Swords. This almost looks Ten of Swords-y to me, but you can tell this person's trying to rest and is struggling. You also get the feeling of this big shape looming behind the swords. Here's our actual Ten of Swords. I love this though because this has happened here, but this person's actually free and back in the cloud realm up here. So you get the feeling of kind of rising above a situation or moving away from a situation. Release, right? As a good keyword. Okay, so let's take a look at our court cards and look at how they're engaging with their element, the element being represented by the clouds here. So this is the Page of Swords, and holding the sword, definitely in action, flying through the clouds. The Prince of Swords, the Knight of Swords, has clearly been in battle, so already has like what looks to be blood on his sword. So, and the clouds around him are much more, like here we get, I guess they're kind of similar, actually, the realm here. Both of them have this like kind of determined face, right? It's like really like determined face. Our Queen of Swords, direct, looking forward. I guess that's not blood. I guess is that cloud stuff? I'm actually not sure, but what's trippy here about the Queen of Swords is these eyes in the background. So there's this very direct gaze emphasis in the artwork. And the King of Swords, and the eyes here are on the chest. So I wonder, so we have eyes up here for the Queen, eyes on the chest in the armor for the King of Swords. Are there eyes in the Knight or in the Page? I don't see any eyes on those, so just in the Queen and the King. And finally we have our Pentacles suit. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. Where's our little figure? Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's our hand with the pentacle, and then our figure, our extra figure, is right up here in the bushes. Huh. We have that juggling action happening in the Two of Pentacles. The growth in the Three. It's almost like... Sorry, I just had to look at it from a different angle. You have this like cloud formation in the back, and you get this feeling definitely of burgeoning energy or growth for sure. But it's interesting that it's almost like they're tossing things back and forth, almost like this is like a ball or something. That I know it's not play. It doesn't feel like play, but it's almost this feeling of like this person's way back here. Like, is this the right spot? It does. There's a sense of that collaborative energy. I wonder what the guidebook says about the Three of Pentacles. Let's see. Let's see, because sometimes that sheds a little bit of light on the artwork. Honing your skills in preparation. Now is the time to make a move. Share your knowledge with the world. Oh, interesting. The Four of Pentacles. You definitely get that feeling of like clinging too hard to what is known and maybe not really growing, but kind of stagnating. The Five of Pentacles. Now this is normally the card of loss, and you get this feeling like all the fruit to be picked is out of reach or feels out of reach. The Six. The Seven of Pentacles. In the Seven, we're typically waiting for a harvest, waiting for things to grow. And this person looks like they're looking out over their fields here. And this looks like a reverse question mark. I don't know if that's intended, but it looks a little bit like a reverse, like a backwards question mark. So that's interesting. That's what I'll probably think of when I see the card. The Eight of Pentacles. Mastery and balance, things kind of reaching that point of extra stability. The Nine of Pentacles, enjoying one's wealth. Ooh, the Ten of Pentacles. I was legitimately expecting to see the 10 Pentacles in the shape of the Tree of Life, but they are not. We have 5 underneath in the foundation. This to me speaks of stability of foundation, and then 5 still to give, 5 still extending upward. Let's take a look at the quartz. So engaging with the element, we have the Princess of Pentacles, who's holding this coin very carefully. There's the bowl beside her. We've got little squirrels. It looks like she's kind of keeping an eye on everything, being almost like a guardian of the woods. Our Prince of Pentacles going on his journey again with the bull, but this time he's sort of set to continue his path once they've had a proper rest. The Queen of Pentacles sort of nurturing the bull with the head on her lap. It's really cute. And the King of Pentacles with the bull right at the chest. Oh, and then we have morning, the morning and the night. Oh, I don't know if I will shuffle these in or not. What does the guidebook say about the extra cards? The morning, oh, it's on the very back page. The morning greets you with dim light. This card reflects the chance to start over, the chance to rise into the day a little bit stronger than yesterday. Use the energy of the morning for beginnings, a new project, a new conversation, a new feeling. Okay. And the night comes when you need it most. It is the place for you to sink into and escape. The long day is coming to an end, but the night allows you to extend it, to draw the time out. While everyone else sleeps, you will work. Use the night to its fullest. The moon slows down the clock for you so you may have the time you need to face the problems ahead. Okay, all right, let me zoom us back out. So overall, I will say some of the minors go a little bit more abstract than what I was maybe expecting in this deck, but I think that the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings are definitely there. And where they go their own way, they do feel like they've got an intent and a purpose there. So far, and we'll take a quick peek at the guidebook in a moment, but so far they seem to be really beautifully explained, the messages anyways, in the guidebook. Ah, yes, and this shuffles much nicer than the Modern Witch Tarot, which was much more stiff. And I believe the GSM on this cardstock is probably $350. I think they were at 400 GSM for the Modern Witch. It's still a little bit thick, but it has some good give, and as you can see, it shuffles pretty nicely. Let's just give her a little hand over hand. Oh yeah, it slides hand over hand really nicely. Beautiful. All right, let's just pick a random card, read one more message from the guidebook unless I've read it already. So we have Princess of Swords. Oh, that's good. So we can see what the court cards read like. So in the guidebook, you have a table of contents and a foreword by Tilly Walden, an introduction. Then you have the major arcana. And there's a little bit of a longer write-up for each of these all the way through. And I read a couple of those, so you have a feel for how those read. And then in the minor arcana, you get much shorter little blurbs. So let's take a look at the Princess of Swords. Oh, and it's a sewn binding, so that's nice. Princess. So, warrior and noble, you are the beautiful, avenging angel. Many fear you, and rightfully so. Your enemies are nothing compared to you, but you can be risky, so take heed. Find patience and harness your ferocity. That's what it has to say about the Princess of Swords. Wow, you guys, so that is the beautiful Cosmic Slumber Tarot by Tilly Walden, and this is published by Liminal 11. Oh my gosh, so pretty. I feel like I want my fan to be wider. There we go, that'll work. Oh, thank you so much for hanging out with me while I did my deep dive walkthrough of these cards. I really appreciate you hanging out. I can't wait to actually test drive this deck on readings, see how it goes. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do like this video if you enjoyed this walkthrough. Subscribe if you are new here so you can stay up to date on all my content. Click the little bell if you want to be notified of my future videos and spontaneous live streams. And definitely, if you want to book a reading with me, know that you can always do that over at supportivetarot.com. Thank you so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.